Tennis and basketball for longevity. My personal experience update. That's something I'm going to talk about today, so stick around. Hi, my name is Sachiaki Takamiya. I am the author of the Ikigai Diet and Ikigai Bio-Hacking. Right. So about a few weeks ago, I made a video called Tennis and Basketball for Longevity. Is it enough? A reaction to Dr. Peter Attia. Right. So since then, I have had a chance to play basketball and tennis. Yeah. So I sort of tested it myself too. So when I played both basketball and tennis, I kind of checked what kind of movement, was required to doing those sports. Yeah. So now I know what kind of movement involves, playing in basketball and tennis. So I can kind of share sort of up-to-date information on that topic, right? So whether playing tennis and basketball is effective for longevity, yeah, that's something I'm going to talk about today. So please watch the video until the end. Thank you. Right. So by the way, recently I have been writing a new book called Live Wiser and Not Smarter. Yeah. And it's been going very well. I've completed up to chapter 8 now. I mean, it's of course a first draft, but I have sort of finished writing up to chapter 8 and I'm writing chapter 9 now. And this will be the last or the final kind of, few chapters. So almost done. It's almost the first draft will be completed soon. And then, of course, I'm going to do the second draft and third draft and so on. But yeah, I'm very pleased with the progression of my new book. Okay, so let me recap. So what I talked about in the last video, yeah. So basically, Dr. Peter Thiel said playing basketball and tennis may not be optimal for longevity. Yeah, it is good, but maybe not optimal. Yeah, if you think about very specific movement and specific exercises for like increasing your health span, especially for the marginal decade, your last decade of your life, to be able to move freely. Yeah, to be able to prevent from falling and all kind of risk factors. Yeah, you need to do specific exercises. You need to train certain muscles, and you need to do exercise for the bones, and of course the cardiovascular fitness. Yeah, he talks about VO2 max is very critical, and it's the one of the best indicator of cardiovascular fitness, and that is biggest factor to reduce the risk of all-cause mortality. Yeah, right. So from that point of view, he doesn't think playing basketball and tennis is the optimal. Yeah. And then in the video, I kind of agreed with him. However, I also thought tennis and basketball are pretty good sport because it was good for the bones and it was a good, aerobic exercise and good for the strength training, and also it's a team sport. So it has like a social connection and so on. There's certain benefit in those sports. Yeah. And if you enjoy playing tennis and basketball, then maybe you want to prioritize that, feeling too, because Ikigai is important. You don't want to just exercise for the sake of just exercise. Yeah. You want to enjoy your sport. Yeah. So the fun aspect is very critical. Yeah. Now, but at that time, I did play basketball about, I don't know, 6 months ago or something, but I hadn't played tennis for a long time. Like, so last week I played tennis for the first time in maybe 30 years or something. Yeah. So I kind of got to know more about tennis this time. Yeah. And also basketball too, because it's a more recent memory. Yeah. It was last week. Yeah. So now, yeah, I still have the pretty much the same feeling, except few things. Like I said, both basketball and tennis was good aerobic exercise. It's both good for like a low intensity aerobic and high intensity aerobic. No, that wasn't true. It's more high intensity aerobic exercise, but not low intensity. So it is similar to HIIT in a way that you have a high intensity activity and then maybe you kind of stop or you kind of move slowly. So there's a kind of a resting period and then you move quickly again. So the repetition of that. So it was close to high intensity interval training, but not low intensity aerobic exercise such as zone 2 jogging. Yeah. You don't have that kind of steady, rhythm of just staying in a sort of low zone. Yeah. For a long time. Yeah. You kind of move a lot. Yeah. Therefore, it is quite exhausting. Yeah. Both tennis and basketball is quite exhausting, I found. Right. Um, Also, yeah, both are great for the bones. Yeah, I felt especially basketball is incredible because you do a lot of jumping. So I felt the impact on my legs, but also on the spine too. When you kind of jump and try to score the goal, you are using your arms and you're kind of extending your spine. So I felt it was a great overall bone exercise. Yeah. Tennis was more for the legs. Yeah. But I did feel a lot of impact on a lot of skipping, not so much jumping, but skipping. So skipping movement was very good for the leg bones. Yeah. And for the strength training too. Yeah. I mean, my legs were sore for a few days after playing basketball and after playing tennis. So that means I used my legs a lot. And so it was kind of a working on my leg muscles, which doesn't usually happen when I go jogging or when I even do a regular strength training. I don't have that much sore legs. Yeah. So it was more intense in a way because probably maybe I kind of played longer, like sort of, I played basketball for about 1 hour, which is much longer than my usual exercise. When I do a sprint, for example, it's only like, 5 minutes or so. I do like 20 seconds of sprint, like 4 sets, which lasts only for 5 minutes. So it's not a long enough. But this time I kind of did it for a long time. Yeah. Um, but anyway, that means if you do a kind of high intensity sort of sprint like movement for a long time, it does, yeah, work on your muscles a lot. Yeah. So I felt it was good for high intensity cardio and good for the bones and strength training, the muscle training. Yeah. And also, I felt it was good for the brain. Yeah, because you have to be creative. You have to be spontaneous. You have to use your brain to kind of focus on your movement more because there are a lot of unpredictable situations. Yeah. Uh, yeah, both playing basketball and tennis, and you don't know what's coming next. And then depending on the opponent and depending on where the ball is coming, you need to move right or left or backward. And there was kind of unpredictable sort of movement. So each time your brain needs to kind of focus and pay attention. While when you do a regular workout, it's very predictable. When I go 45 minutes of zone 2 jogging, I know exactly where I'm going, the same route, the same speed. Yeah. So it's very predictable. The same with the strength training. Whether I do push-ups or maybe, lift weight or whatever, it's the same thing. You just do maybe 10 times or the 20 times, maybe like, uh, everything is predictable. Yeah. But it wasn't the case with basketball and tennis. So for the brain, I felt it was more stimulating. Yeah. Um, and also, of course, the fun aspect. I mean, it is a game, so it was much more fun. I mean, I do enjoy jogging and doing strength training and so on. Yeah. But when you do that for a long time, when you continue doing for 1 year or 2 years, you do kind of get bored a bit. I mean, the fact that I kind of became interested in basketball and tennis recently is because of that. I'm kind of getting slightly bored with doing a regular workout. So I kind of it was refreshing to play basketball and tennis, and it was really kind of a new experience, and I felt great. about it, right? So I think that's a good aspect of playing a ball sport or just any, whether it's a soccer or baseball, any kind of sport has that kind of excitement. Yeah, right. And the other thing is, I feel young. Yeah, partly because I played it with younger people, but also your image, your mental association with basketball, tennis is it's a kind of sport that young people do. Yeah. It's any kind of like, soccer, baseball, basketball. You kind of also watch all those professional, people playing it on TV, right? And they are young people. So you kind of associate with a sort of youthfulness. While jogging or even like strength training in the gym, anyone can do it really, whether it's young or old, everybody does it. Yeah. Whenever we think about training or workout, we go to the gym. Yeah. But we don't play basketball so often. Once you become over 60, you don't play basketball so much. Yeah. So when you play basketball, it reminds you of the time when you were younger, when you were in your 20s, when you were in your 30s, playing basketball and stuff like that. So it brings back the youthful kind of feeling again. So that was a great benefit I found. Right. Yeah. Okay. Now, having said that, is it optimal? Probably not. I think Peter Attia is right. So one thing the basketball and tennis doesn't cover is the zone 2 training or the low intensity cardio. Yeah. So I think it is critical to do certain amount of low intensity cardio. Yeah. If it's not 150 minutes a week. I mean, Peter Tia says you should do it for at least 180 minutes per week. But if you don't even do that, still I think it's beneficial for you to do it. 130 minutes or 150 minutes per week of low intensity cardio. Yeah. So I think just playing on tennis and basketball doesn't probably cover that. And also the stretching and flexibility training in general. Yeah. So I think you need to add some yoga type of activities or I mean, probably what you do stretching after playing basketball or tennis, right? So that may be okay, but you need to do extra sort of balance training and certain things. And yeah. So the bottom line is, I think it is good to do your workout, whether it's zone 2 training or strength training or flexibility training, but occasionally playing tennis or basketball stimulate your brain and set your motivation again. It takes you out of the mundane situation. Yeah. Once you're getting bored with your workout, it's good to do something, maybe play soccer, play basketball, play baseball, play tennis or pickleball. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a really great idea. So that's something I might do. I might kind of play some kind of a ball sport, like once a week or maybe once every maybe not once a week, but maybe once a month or so. I think that would be good. I go mountain hiking once a month. So in the same sort of thing, maybe once a month, I might play some kind of ball sport. I think that would be, great. In addition to doing a regular workout. And then the another thing about, playing tennis or basketball with a social connection, social aspect. In the case of tennis, I just played with my son, right? Just the two people. But it was good to communicate with my son too. But I mean, often you want to belong to a group, or maybe if there is a local club, playing basketball, tennis, or pickleball, that would be good. I know someone who plays pickleball with a group of people like once a week, or I don't know, a few times a week. And then she said the social connection was fantastic. You don't just play pickleball. After pickleball, you have a tea and talk and everything. And so I think if you can find a group like that, that would be wonderful. You can have the accountability, yeah, because there are other people around. You have to show up, so you need to do it. But if you are only doing your workout alone, it's easy to skip it. Easy to, oh, I am very tired today, so I'm not going to do it. It's possible, but once you join the group, then you have to do it. So that is great. Yeah. Unfortunately, in my case, there isn't a kind of a group like that. Not for my age group, though. I think there are some baseball clubs or something for younger people, but that's a little too difficult for me to join. If there's a senior group that I don't know, but I'm not interested in finding out because I can kind of imagine it'll be too too easy for me. Yeah. So I'm looking for somewhere in between. So I'm relatively fit for my age. So it is better to find a group of people who are fitter than this age, yet not too young. Yeah. But unfortunately, there isn't any kind of group like that in like my area. So, I have to kind of find some people to play with or just to do it on my own. So in my case, it's probably better to play tennis. So then I can just play with my son. Yeah. With the basketball, you need to find some other people to play, which is a bit more complicated. Right. Anyway, so whatever it is, the important thing is to do some kind of a sport or do some kind of movement. And then now it is going to be summer from July. Out a lot of swimming too. I will go to Lake Biwa to do a lot of swimming. So it's exciting to do all kind of sports, really. I mean, yeah, I think diversity is the key. Not doing only one type of movement, but you do a zone two kind of a low intensity aerobic, movement to high intensity, like sprint like movement to strength training, flexibility training, maybe swimming, yeah, and then doing other sports using different parts of the body is very beneficial. Right. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Again, my name is Sachiaki Takamiya, the author of the Ikigai Diet and Ikigai Bio-Hacking. If you like this video, please give me your thumb up and subscribe to my channel. And please leave your comment. Yeah. So what are your experiences of playing tennis, basketball, or any other ball sports as opposed to doing regular workout? Yeah. Please share your experiences in the comment section below. Thank you. Well, I'll see you in the next video. Live with your Ikigai!